I needed a new chainsaw, but it's going to be for occasional use, so I didn't want to spend a lot, so I bought a cheap chainsaw from Amazon. I'm going to take it out, take a look at it, use it for a while, and see how it works. Chainsaw in here. Wait. Move this out of the way. I read on the internet that, and of course it's got to be true, right? If it's on the internet, it has to be true. Amazon every year ships so many packages that all the cardboard used for shipping each year would cover the entire United States twice over. That's a lot of cardboard. I don't know if I can pull this up and we can take a look. So, what is it? Battery? No. Oh, those are logs. Saw this little icon. It was like batteries. Why do we need batteries? No, so those are logs. Gasoline warranty. 42 cc, 18 inch. So definitely an upgrade from what I was using. I'll take this out of the second box here. And this one comes with a case, which is nice. So there were two saws that I was looking at. They were both 18 inch. I think they were both the same displacement and about the same price. The tiebreaker was this one came with a case, the other one didn't, because I have another saw, or actually two others, an electric and a gas, that don't come with a case. Yeah, for example, that's my electric saw. It's a battery powered. Didn't come with a case, so I got to carry it around in a Costco bag. It's kind of ridiculous. So yeah, my charger's in here, my batteries, my accessories, and that's that. One that one. So we'll take this out and see. We got the instructions here. Come with a scrunch as well. It's got, is this oil, bar oil? No, it's not. This is two-stroke oil here, not bar oil. Pull this out here. Nothing special to see here, I don't think. Bar oil here. Premix goes there. Full start. A blade brake. Nothing out of the ordinary here. Flip that around. And one thing about this saw is it's not tool. It'd be nice if it had a toolless adjustment for the chain tension, but I do notice that the adjustment for this tension is here on the side, as opposed to I've got a saw or two saws that have them on the end, and those are a pain in the butt to get to when the screw's on the end, because it's always covered with oil and sawdust and everything. You can't really get to it. It's hard to see it, first of all, and hard to adjust. So having that on the side is nice. So even though it's not toolless, that's the next best thing. So I'm going to read the instructions and see if there's anything in particular I need to know about. I don't know, break-in or anything like that first. And all right, I was wondering something. I know that you got this slot right here, which engages the blade guard there like this. But why is there a slot here? Can they make a left-handed chainsaw? Or maybe that's the version they use in England on the wrong side? I don't know. And then it's got this little thing in here, I guess, to put in there. So that's just kind of odd to me. Maybe if you had another blade guard, you'd put a spare bar in there and just carry it that way. I don't know. Somebody tell me. Thanks. I read through the instruction manual, and it didn't have anything in here specifically about break-in for the motor or the chain or anything. So basically just states to just go ahead and mix your gas and oil like you normally would, and it doesn't even say anything about like taking it easy for the first tank or two or gallon or whatever, like, don't run it full out or anything. But I am going to take it easy to start with anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and add that. That's 3.2 ounces, which is the what you need is for exactly, this is exactly a gallon I got in here now. And I'm not making, I only mix a gallon at a time. Matter of fact, I should probably mix a half a gallon at a time because I probably won't use all of this before I should change it out. So, you know, this is occasional use, and I'm by no means a expert with a chainsaw. I'm barely an amateur with a chainsaw. You might wonder, well, why am I watching a guy who doesn't really know chainsaws that well do a review on a chainsaw? And I guess it's not really a review. I guess maybe it's a tryout. Is that the same thing? I don't know. So who knows? Maybe you'll see an amateur cut his leg off with a chainsaw or something. Fuel is in, bar oil is in, and there's a list of instructions here. That's a long checklist. Okay, so kill switch. Well, that's on position. It's actually, the switch is actually off. It's not grounding the spark plug to the crankcase. That's a whole different thing. Okay, 10 times, push the priming button 10 times. Alright, choke. Choke out. Pull the handle 5 times. Okay, so what this doesn't say, in my experience with 2 strokes and choking, is choke on, you pull it, and when it coughs or burps or tries to start, make sure you put the choke back in because you'll flood it on the very next pull. Should probably take that off too. Alright, now it burped. Let's see what we got. Seems to start pretty easy, which is good. I would expect no less from a brand new saw. I'm going to go and saw some logs, I think. I'm going to actually let this run for idle for about 2 or 3 more minutes though, just to kind of make sure it's okay. There is a reason I put an exhaust fan in the barn though. That way, maybe it'll help with the carbon monoxide poisoning a little bit. Pull button.
Ah.
This video wasn't intended to be a review, just more of just me playing with my new toy. But now that I've used it for a while, there's some things I definitely want to mention. This kill switch is in a bad spot. I hit this with my with my hand and shut it off. I don't know, 5 or 6 times probably, accidentally.
Out of fuel. No? Hit the button again.
Yeah, he did. One thing that was evident to me was that the bar wasn't getting enough oil. I could tell by the sound that it was making that it wasn't lubed enough, so I ended up having to adjust the oil flow screw basically all the way out for maximum flow. So I You'd think with that it'd be slinging oil everywhere, but it's not. But I believe it is getting enough lube now, but it's at max. I've had to clean out a puddle of oil from here a couple of times after overnight storage, and I guess it's coming from the saw. I was thinking maybe it was kind of some stuff, residual pooling in here after putting it away, and then it's running out into the case, but that's not the case, no pun intended. This is like pretty much completely dry, so it is coming from the saw. I don't know if that's normal or not. I do have a saw that I know is not normal, because if you leave that for a week, the reservoir is completely empty and there's oil, huge pool of oil everywhere. But with this one here, it's a small amount. Then again, it's only a day. So again, I don't know if that's normal or not to be leaking bar oil while it's sitting still. At first, I don't know, first 20 minutes or so, this thing was running really strong. I was really happy with it. It exceeded expectations, actually, and then I could tell it was getting hot, and it was stalling, losing power, bogging down. I let it cool down, tried it again. Just didn't seem like it had the punch it had when it ran right at first. First, I read online that there was people were saying that this filter in here clogs up fast, and it's not a foam filter, it's just a real fine mesh. So I cleaned it out completely, put it back on, ran better, but still didn't seem like it was quite what it was right at first. So yeah, after cleaning this out, I can get most of the performance back, but it doesn't last long. 10 or 15 minutes later, it starts kind of doing the same thing, and this is already just enough of a coating on those filter elements to bog the saw down. Now, I could, kind of fix that, adjusting the carburetor, the height of the carburetor, but then as soon as I clean the filter again, it's just then it'll go lean, so that's even a worse condition, actually. So wherever it is that this is pulling in air, it's pulling a lot of the sawdust with it and clogging this really quickly. So that's a problem. I think I do have a fix for this, though. After using this for 60 minutes, maybe 90 minutes over a period of 3 days, I had initially decided to send this back, return it to Amazon. Then I thought, well, I'm going to give it another day, try to work with it. And after that, I think I'm going to keep it. It does have its flaws. The air cleaner does clog faster than it should, but I only use this for maybe 30 minutes at a time. And if I just clean out the air filter before each use, it lasts me as long as I need it for that day for the most part. And if I blow that out with an air compressor, not just like blow on it, use an air compressor, I pretty much get the performance back completely as far as, when it was, I initially used it. So it runs actually pretty strong when that's clean. As far as the initial overheating, that may have been a chain that was too tight from the factory. I didn't check it before I started using it, but I haven't had that problem since. It still idles well. I did boost the idle a little bit, though. And as far as the bar oiler, I'll empty it after each use, or catch the drippings from it or whatever. But I guess for $170, I can't expect perfection and expect to have to work around like I said, a few quirks. But Could I do better for the price? I don't know. Also, bonus, I managed to process all of this wood without cutting off any limbs. My limbs, that is.